Excellency, thank you for being at the premises of Tele Liban. Thank you for granting us this interview, and thank you for your time. First of all, I would like to ask you, this is your third visit to Lebanon. You have met the President of the Republic, the Prime Minister, and later on the Speaker of the House. Can you tell us what were the main headlines you discussed and what you agreed on during these discussions?
Sure. I mean, and it's not my third time to Lebanon. It's my third time in the last 3 weeks to Lebanon.
Yes.
Which always, for my soul, is like coming home. And the discussions that I've been having with everybody are along the same lines as we discussed before, is how the U.S. can help facilitate, at a very delicate time in the region, and a more delicate time in Lebanon, a cessation of hostility agreement that has substance and performance criteria that will allow us to move to the next step and where Lebanon needs to go. And my meetings with both the President and Prime Minister were constructive, well thought, hopeful, and we're gaining ground. We're making progress.
You'll meet later on the Speaker of the House?
Yes, tomorrow. Yeah. Tomorrow morning, I think.
Tomorrow morning. Excellency, press reported that America's demands are dismantling the ballistic missiles and the drones of Hezbollah. You said in one of your interviews that disarming Hezbollah requires carrot and stick strategy. However, Sheikh Naim Asim made it clear that no surrender of weapons unless Israel stops its retaliation. Can you confirm that these are America's demands? And what did you mean by carrot and stick policy? Is the U.S. willing to pressure Israel to stop its attacks and withdraw from the 5 points?
Well, those were 9 questions.
Let me, one question.
You're very, very good. Let me take them apart one at a time.
Okay.
First of all, let me be clear. America has no demands. America's intent in being in Lebanon is as a constructive friend to usher it to the next level of relevancy which it deserves. We have no demands. We came at a request to help.
Yes.
And our suggestions are just that, are just suggestions as to what is the path to try and find understanding amongst all of these constituencies who have not found it. We've had many agreements over many years that some have included Israel, some have included other minorities, and some have included Hezbollah in the past. We have a cessation agreement, cessation of hostility agreement that's in effect.
Yes.
So we were called in like a doctor and say, we need surgery, we have a patient on the table, can you help? There are no demands. We haven't made any demands. What we did is come in and say, let us help you. We'll help everybody. Obviously, I've had no discussions with Hezbollah myself.
Yes.
The statements that Hezbollah makes are the statements that Hezbollah makes. We have no skin in that game. But the solution is clear. You have a dilemma with Hezbollah militia. You have Israel, who's been very clear and very, very firm about what their expectations are of that relationship between Hezbollah, which in their view there's no difference between Hezbollah militia and Hezbollah political party, Lebanon, and the rest of the region. So what we've tried to do is to say, look, we have a suggestion of how Lebanon might onboard. Hezbollah has to be a willing participant.
Yes.
We're happy to negotiate on behalf of Lebanon, not on behalf of Hezbollah. Hezbollah and Lebanon, Hezbollah being a part of Lebanon, have to first come to their own conclusion. If that happens, count on us to back you, to support you, to take you to the next level, and all the resources that we have available to make it happen. But it's you, Lebanon's decision. Hezbollah is part of Lebanon. So all the leaders of Hezbollah can have all of the conversations with me on the media that they want. It means nothing. I have no relationship to them. I've never had a dialogue with them. God bless them all. They can have those conversations with their counterparts in the Lebanese government.
And what about the carrot and stick strategy?
Well, the carrot and stick strategy is logical in any negotiation. So as we look at it, there's just mistrust on both sides.
Yes.
There's mistrust on the Lebanese government side, there's mistrust on the Hezbollah side, and the third counterpart is there's mistrust on Israel's side.
Yes.
So you've had this agreement in effect, and why did the agreement not work? It's my first question to everybody, is if I came in as a doctor for triage of a patient that's on the table, what happened? Well, what happened is neither party trusted each other. There were a set of conditions and requirements that were set out by Israel. There was a set of conditions and requirements from the government, and there was expectations of what would happen, and none of that happened. So as a consequence, we still have the quarrels going on in the South, which is part of the problem. And that problem exacerbates all the great things that are trying to happen on the reform in the government.
Yes.
Lebanon should be the economy and touristic center of the Middle East, full stop.
Yes.
Smartest, brightest, most charming, most gracious, most service-oriented culture forever. Everywhere in the region, for 50 years, if there was $1 made in the Middle East, 5 cents was being made in Lebanon, no more. Not because the people aren't capable, not because the people aren't the brightest, not because the place isn't the most desired, because we don't have security.
Yes.
We don't have a secure environment in which those people, for tourism, for economy, for industry, for venture capital, you have the most educated people in the world. They need security. That security was the object of this agreement that didn't work.
Yes.
All we're doing is trying to say that agreement didn't work. Let us, as a mechanic, help you fix the things that we would suggest, and then we will use our influence on all the parties,
Yes.
all the parties being the governmental entities and Israel. Hezbollah has to make its own decision as to what its destiny is as part of Lebanon. As you know, in the United States, Hezbollah is looked at as a foreign terrorist organization. That's not the case inside of Lebanon.
Yes.
So it has to be Lebanon's discussion with them and our influence outside at some point to convince the Israelis that we have a plan, a canvas, a tapestry that is meaningful for everybody to bring peace and then ultimately prosperity. Because all the Lebanese people need is hope and prosperity. But it's time.
Are you satisfied with the reforms done by the government of Prime Minister Nawaf Salam?
Yes, I think it's tremendous what they're contemplating. The bank resolution, the GAP Act, all coming to fruition. A new central bank governor who's well respected in all respects. A potential Starlink transaction,
Yes.
which is when we say we need to bring people back. You need a banking system. You need a central bank. They have to have correspondent banks. They have to have electricity, water, power, and internet. So how do we get those basic things again to the people who can then deliver those services? And I think the government and the entire legislative body is doing a very good job at attacking those methodically. And what they need underneath it is the canvas of security, because no outside business, no outside investors are going to come here until we can provide them with that.
Excellency, will the U.S. maintain its firm position to support Lebanon, especially in backing up the LAF and the Lebanese army, and what are the conditions?
Well, there's no conditions. I think the U.S. has always held LAF in great respect, and we have always combined training, direction, supervision, money to help support LAF. And I think I've said before, one of the things that we all need to do is to engineer a methodology to further support LAF so that they have the resources to provide first-class military support in their people, to pay them the wages that's necessary to have the proper amount of men and women on the ground. They have to be properly equipped. They have to be properly trained as a peacekeeping force, not as a military offensive force.
Yes.
And within that, then everybody can start relaxing. The Shias or the Hezbollah could then say, I have a sufficient force to protect me from the forces of which I'm concerned.
Okay.
I don't need my own military force. So our commitment and our intent to help LAF as they figure it out UNIFIL has been here for a long time supporting.
This is what I will ask you, the second question. The renewal for the mandate of UNIFIL is in August. What will the U.S. official stance regarding this issue be?
It's still in process from many facets, trying to navigate to what is the right recommendation as to what we do with UNIFIL. Firstly, we're grateful for that participation. We have great respect for them, for the United Nations, for the very difficult job that they have. We're now at a point where we need to have a more laser focus on what are the issues and how do we provide trust to both parties. So that decision hasn't been made. It's in process. Before the end of August, we'll decide what our recommendation is, and then, of course, it goes to a greater body. So we'll, before September, understand where we are with UNIFIL.
My final question, Excellency, did you discuss with the Lebanese officials the issue of demarcating the borders between Lebanon and Syria?
Yes, not only discuss with them, this is an ongoing discussion that has been going on for about 40 years. And we're not going to solve it in a week. Yes. My feeling about this is simple. We all need to move on to a discussion of how do we provide hope and a future to your children, to my grandchildren, to the next generations. And it's not wrapped around lines that were made by various men and women for various purposes that have no meaning today. And until we move away from all of our focus being on those lines, which becomes very tribal, we're never going to make major headway. It's what is our relationship with the people on the other side of that line. It's about the relationship across the boundaries and borders. It's not about the delineation of the boundaries and borders. And that's really the problem. We don't have trust with our counterparts on the other side of whatever line it is. So you can move the red line to the blue line to the green line. Lebanon deserves to go back to the heritage that it had. The heritage is the pearl in the middle of this necklace in a region that always had it as leadership, and an environment that always welcomed Christians, Sunnis, Shias, Druze, Jews, in a place, in a region that in the next 2 or 3 years, with a little bit of luck, you could start to see unfolding into a regional power, with Lebanon at the center of this new cyclical relationship. And that's my hope, and that's why we're here. I think that the government entities are doing a great job at addressing those issues. Everybody's out of patience. This is the moment to put behind us the regrets of the past, the tribal vengeance, the hostilities that we've had, and say, let's take the best of what Lebanon is. It's the people. Redefine the people on the other side of these borders and forget about what the lines are. It's irrelevant.
With this message of hope, thank you for your time and thank you for granting us again this interview at Tele Liban. Thank you.
Thank you. It's been a privilege.